Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. This is a Star Citizen podcast hosted by me, BoredGamer, as well as the lovely Zin. Say hello, lovely Zin.
Hello, lovely Zin.
We are at the end of July. We're going to be talking about there's still no wider PT 3.24 and that patch. I love the fact you're just like, oh, I knew there wasn't going to be a patch. Actually, I'm very good at telling the dates. You're the worst. But that stuff should be moving a lot faster. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the ship Showdown and CIG sort of moving on to 4.0 updates and the sort of schedule for that. So how are you doing, Zin? Let's start with that.
I'm alright. I'm surprisingly not as warm as I thought I'd be today, considering there's going to be a high of 28 here.
But it's not a high of 28 currently, is it?
No, I don't think so. It doesn't feel like it.
Well, it's not humid like it has been.
No, I think that's probably it. It's probably not as humid.
So we're enjoying the lack of humidity today in the UK, at least where we are. It is supposed to be pretty hot, so if we sound exhausted during the podcast, it's because of the heat that's suddenly ramped up.
Like a dog stuck in a hot car.
Yeah, that is how I would describe the podcast. Like a dog stuck in a hot car. Oh, right. It's the end of July, Zin. Why is there still no 3.24 on the wider PT? Why is it still EVOCATI?
Don't know.
That is a strong answer. I don't know how would I put that down if I was writing that down? Zin just said...
It's a PFFFT.
Okay, that's a but
yeah,
okay.
But
more of a horse sound. We're still waiting on the wider PT for 3.24. CIG have been hinting that it's going to go to wider PT for a couple of weeks now. There have been blockers for that build, which they shared a couple and they fixed the ones that they basically shared, but they were like, oh yeah, there's a blocker list that's preventing us from pushing forward, and when they were like about to, another blocker appeared, so it will be wider PTU and then live as soon as it can be, and it's ready when it's ready. It should be moving a lot faster now. I mean, it obviously couldn't move any slower, but it should be moving a lot faster now because they have been tweaking that build, improving it. Loads of bug fixes have gone in there, loads of stability fixes, loads of blockers have been fixed. When are you sort of expecting this to go to wider PTU and then sort of lives in? Any idea at all?
I mean, within the next 2 weeks.
For wider PTU?
Yeah, well, I'd hope at least maybe like the next week for wider PTU.
Yeah, I'm hoping by the end of this week we'll have wider PTU. It could literally be today. It's a mystery of when it's going to happen. It's when CIG decide that a build is in a good enough state to be released, which I think the current ones are, and they want more test feedback. They want more feedback on it. They want to open it up to a wider group, which they will before they release it to live, obviously. And they want to test things like Blockade Runner, which I've yet to test. I do not believe it has been available on the EVOCATI build. And there's wider economy improvements as well that they're waiting to test. Are you excited for 3.24, Zin?
Or
you totally
no.
moved on to 4.0 in your head now?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think I said before, I'm not really that bothered by 3.24. It was the stuff in 3.23 that I wasn't really interested in.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, it was supposed to be in 3.23, and then obviously it got pushed to 3.23.x, and then that became its own 3.24 in name only, effectively, which is what we're waiting on. For me, it's obviously huge fundamental changes to the game. I mean, it is to Zin as well. It's gameplay that will not affect her day-to-day enjoyment of Star Citizen, and she'll only really occasionally be doing anyway. She's not like a mega cargo hauler, at least not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Do you like those train sim games and Euro Truck Simulator games?
Yeah, but I'm not
You're not
really
managing the cargo.
Yeah, I'm just driving.
There could be anything in the back of those. I was going to make a joke, which would have got me banned. There could be anything in the back of those trucks. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Let's move on quickly before I decide to make a joke. Yeah, so we're waiting on Blockade Runner and stuff like that to be run. But when it's ready, should hopefully see 3.24 wider PTU later this week. And that means that we can actually show footage of that we've recorded ourselves. Should be real soon. That's what the sentiment is. We'll have to wait and see. So, CIG are going to be ploughing ahead with a load of stuff for August. That's going to be things like 3.24 hopefully live. They're probably going to run the Blockade Runner missions if it does go live.
Mm-hmm.
And they are sort of pushing into the 4.0 cycle update. So we've kind of already started this. 4.0 cycle for Q3/Q4. But there's a load of content that they're sort of focused on, which we'll discuss in a bit, sort of all focused on 4.0. So yeah, lots and lots of 4.0 stuff over the next few weeks. Something else that we're going to have in the next few weeks is the ship showdown.
Oh god, yeah.
So this is interesting. So we're sort of come to the end of the Foundation Festival. That's like in a couple of days that ends. Foundation Festival, to get some new people in the game, there's a free fly that was going on earlier, and then you get rewarded if you guide other players, and as a player you get rewarded by being guided as well, by getting taught some new skills and stuff like that. But it's a low turnout kind of festival. It's not super hype, but it's a useful thing, but it doesn't have a huge amount of wide appeal yet. But Ship Showdown is relatively hype. It's quite sort of well marketed. So what won last year's in? What did we have last year as the winner of the Ship Showdown?
Last year was the Corsair.
So the Corsair, I love the Corsair. It's one of my favourite ships.
It's a good ship. It's a strong ship. I can understand why lots of people would like that ship.
And I think the year before, that was another strong ship, wasn't it?
Very well. I mean, you could argue it's stronger now than it was before.
Oh, yeah. So the year before, was it the Cargo Argo? Was it I think it was the Cargo Argo one.
It was the Argo Cargo.
Argo Cargo. So the MPUV C, I think it's -C. So this little tiny trash vehicle is the way I describe it. It's a little tiny ship that is a parasite vessel, so it doesn't have quantum drive, that literally can just move a little tiny bit of cargo from A to B. It's supposed to be with a parent ship. It kind of got memed to the top. Okay, there's no reason that ship should win the Ship Showdown. But the Ship Showdown, for clarity, is people vote on the most popular, currently flyable ships in-game. So it's only ships that are available in-game to use. It's not concept ships. They sort of take socials and stuff, CIG, and go, these are the most popular ones. The first couple of weeks of the Ship Showdown is people putting hashtags in and talking about ships on the forums and social media or whatever, and they take the most popular ones, use some voodoo magic to work out what that is, and if there are variants and anything, they go, well, these ships should be in the Ship Showdown. These ships are then put in a daily war against each other, where basically two ships fight it out to get the most votes. Whoever gets the most votes, the winner basically keeps on going on, and then the top 4 ships in the Ship Showdown, they get a skin or something made for them during the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo in November, and the winning ship gets something else extra made for them. Typically those ships are available for free fly and stuff like that. There's a ship sale with them. So if you are an owner of those ships, you get some free skins and stuff like that later in the year. So you sort of want to vote for the ships that you own or the ships that you like, and ships that you own are probably going to be ships that you like. But it's a popularity contest. And the Cargo Argo had no business winning. I'm not unfair in saying that, right?
No, you're not unfair. At that point, at least, it had no business being there.
It is our opinion that is the case. However, you can have a different opinion, like, no, it's the best ship because X, and you can say whatever you want in where I said X, and you're wrong, because it's not. It's not the best ship.
Also, we were wrong with the dates. I didn't even realise. So last year, the Corsair won.
Yep.
Year before that, the Carrack won.
Oh!
And it was actually 2021 where the MPUV Cargo won.
I apologise.
I completely forgot about the Carrack winning one.
I love the Carrack. I love the Corsair. Carrack and Corsair. Yeah. Great ships.
They're very similar ships as well.
Who wants to win? Yes. Obviously, the sort of Corsair is supposed to be no frills, a bit cheaper from Drake. Carrack is the much more sort of military expedition explorer, but they are both multi-role, multi-crew kind of exploration-focused ships. I say kind of, I mean they are exploration-focused, especially the Carrack, but they're very cool at mission running and multi-use. Yeah, so we are talking about 2021?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, the hatred in my heart for that undeserved win is still strong.
Yeah, I'm almost certain that it was the year before last, but...
Yeah, me too.
Apparently not.
But you can't disprove facts. Yeah, so this year, there's obviously a load more ships that have turned up, But I do think that things like the Cutlass Black, like the Mercury Star Runner, Corsair, Carrack, Caterpillar, stuff like that, they're still strong choices to win. Do you think there's a lot of love for a particular ship this year?
I have no idea.
No? What's your favourite ship currently? What would you vote for winner?
I mean, I'd probably still go for the Cutlass Red, or even if it can be just Cutlass series in general.
Oh, that's a good point. So typically, if like the Cutlass Red gets a good amount of love and the Cutlass Black gets loads of love, they'll just go, oh, we're just going to put the Cutlass Black in. We'll have to wait and see exactly what they do. What is new this year? Oh, I know what might win. One of the Hornets, right? So they've got Hornet Mark IIs now.
I don't know. I think there might be a little bit too much annoyance with it, maybe.
Okay. Pulses, you've got the Hornet Mark IIs. I mean, I know a lot of people love the F8 at the moment. And we've got the Sulen. I'm trying to think if there's any other ships that I think are in a strong position. I mean, a lot of people like the Spirit series. I'm interested to know what other people think is a strong contender for the top 4 or the winner there. What's your favourite ship? Tell us in the sort of comments below. But the ship showdown, yeah, there'll be lots of sales going on. There'll be a free fly. All those ships will sort of like be available to use during the free fly that make it into like maybe the top 10 of the ship showdown and stuff like that. So get involved. Vote on your daily favourite as well when that starts up, but that will be starting towards the end of August. Yeah, it's a good time. Now, something I did want to talk about here, Sin, is the sort of schedule for 4.0 content from CIG. This week, we've got them talking about asteroid bases, which are a new feature of 4.0, and contested areas / contested stations.
Okay.
So I don't believe asteroid bases are, at this stage, bases for players to have as a base, but more sort of like a new type of space station-y type content area. Is that interesting to you? Just general, more gameplay area, specifically like contested stations? Does that sound interesting to you, or the asteroid bases themselves?
It's more so interesting because obviously Pyro is a different sort of system to Stanton. There's not many places in Stanton where you'll go and somebody will just point a gun at your head.
Yeah.
For like settlement locations almost. But obviously Pyro is a system for outlaws and people who want to not have to deal with the UEE laws and stuff like that. Obviously there are some people there who are friendly. You've got I've forgotten what it's called, but I have done a video on it before. The people
of Pyro.
It's something like that.
There's so there are the free people of Pyro, of that, whatever they're called. I can't remember now either. Who are just people that are relatively nice, that sort of settled there. They're effectively law abiding, but they're disenfranchised to the UEE or whatever.
Well, not necessarily that, but they also want to clean up Pyro, like get rid of all the gangs and stuff. Even though that's probably a pipe dream.
Well, there are the Overlords as well, who are basically
citizens for Pyro.
So citizens for Pyro, and I believe that there are the Overlords, which are like the super vigilantes, who
so they're like
also in Pyro, who just go after criminals very aggressively and effectively are criminals themselves. And I think the free people of Pyro, they're sort of effectively against them, right? As well, because they're vigilantes.
I mean, I would think that they'd happily like pair with them if it was a means to an end.
Yeah. It's like Batman, right? They're all super Batman, evil Batmen. But yeah, so I'm really interested to see sort of the asteroid bases. I just expect small versions of Grim Hex just dotted around everywhere, or space stations that are also embedded in asteroids. Contested zones, though, Sin. Let me read you what contested zones are. Locations that are going to be featuring in Pyro's space stations. They introduce FPS gameplay with various layouts tailored for different purposes. The zones will feature a progression system requiring tokens to unlock different zones, giving access to the loot inside. Collecting all of the tokens will allow a player to open the final door and claim a grand prize. So they're like little loot areas that will have a level of resistance, I think. So treasure hunting, loot. I really like the idea of that. Give me an area where I can run around, treasure hunt. There's a difficulty to it, and then I can decide how far I push in to get a load of loot. Cool. GIF. I do think that good FPS gameplay would do Star Citizen the world of good. You sort of enjoyed the Pyro Playground stuff that we did where we were messing around on the space station, right? Because it's sort of like easily accessible content.
Yeah, once you know where the elevator is.
Oh, yeah, we went round the outside of the station, didn't we?
Yeah, because we couldn't find the elevator. We had a little run around on the inside, and I was just like, I can't find it. And you're like, well, we can get it from the outside. So we spent ages flying around the outside really slowly.
Yeah, so one of the joys of the Pyro missions on stations are that these are huge stations that have loads of FPS set up and loads of missions can spawn on them. And then you can use the elevators to move around to get to where you want to go, or you can even access it externally, which is obviously takes a lot longer if there's no elevator going there. But I like the opportunities there. So contested areas, asteroid bases, CIG are going to be talking about them later this week. Something else they're going to be talking about the week after, so 8th of August, I think that's when the Inside Star System will be on it, is fire. I believe it's also going to be like life support and engineering stuff, but fire hazards, fire extinguishers. Are you excited by fire making its way into the game properly?
I mean, excited is a strong word.
Do you think it will make the game more interesting having fire hazards and fire that could break out on your ships due to damage?
Yeah. I think it'll be more interesting. I assume it probably won't happen much in single-person craft, which you only have a cockpit.
Yes, that would be a bit harsh if suddenly you're on fire. And this was the outside of your ship could catch a light, or kind
Not
of. Not
in space.
Well, so... But
unless you're venting oxygen.
Yeah, so you might be venting oxygen, or there might be part of your ship exposed, which is sort of sparking or on fire, right? But that's... The system for fires is supposed to take into account atmosphere and oxygen and that sort of stuff. So you are totally correct. If you are exposed to space, you shouldn't be able to have a fire there. So on the week after, on the 15th, we've got the Pyro Social Experience that's going to be being talked about. This is going to be you interacting with different NPCs, building up rep probably. The difference, as Zin said, where someone could point a gun in your face at any point, it is a totally different area, Pyro, very different from Stanton, and there is obviously going to be the reputation system, which is going to be more readily used here, and different gangs and different factions will allow you, building rep with them will allow you to get into different areas more readily, and that sort of jazz. Are you excited by building reputation with the factions in Pyro, or are you going to be more in Stanton? Are you going to be going to Pyro much?
Probably not.
No, not your sort of cup of tea for content?
No.
What about for medical rescue stuff? Because I think we'll actually be able to do that more regularly there.
Maybe. So
I'm going to make you a Pyro convert. Soon.
No, I don't think you will.
Yeah. Then on the 22nd, there's going to be a episode on the ship Showdown. So we talked about that already. That sort of, I'm assuming we'll sort of kick it off. And that will be the sort of, it's kind of a two-phased thing, really. And the first phase is collecting all that social media information of what is the sort of ships that they should be picking for the ship Showdown to actually go into it. And then it's the second phase is voting on the ships versus ship battles. And then we've got on the 29th, an episode about fighting. So loads more stuff on Pyro, combat fighting. I believe it's going to be like on factions and the stuff you can expect to deal with in Pyro. And then there's going to also be episodes on creatures, engineering, the Zeus and the MFD rework, stuff like that. So they're going to be covering a huge range of 4.0. Are you excited to see more creatures in Star Citizen Sin? Like the space cows?
Yes.
Do you want to go and tip them?
Maybe.
Space cow tipping.
That would be cool if you could.
What if it's an outlaw quest to go tip all the cows? Oh my god, please CIG, make a cow tipping mission. I'll love you forever. I'm super excited for engineering. Obviously, that's a huge fundamental change to the game. I suppose as is adding a whole new star system and jump points and all that sort of jazz. But I'm pretty excited for 4.0. Okay, Zin. Oracle Zin, keeper of the times and dates. When are you expecting 4.0 to sort of go into PTU, EVOCATI, that sort of stuff?
September.
Okay.
Middle of September.
And are you expecting 4.0 to be live before the end of the year? And if so, when?
I mean, I would hope that 4.0 would be live before CitizenCon.
Okay. So sort of by 19th/20th of October is when you're hoping 4.0 will be live.
I would like to think that they will have it live either 4 or just after CitizenCon.
2.5 months. They got 10 weeks. Let's hope they can do it. I suppose because 3.24 was sort of an offshoot of 3.23 anyway. And they've been working on loads of 4.0 stuff in the meantime and testing loads of 4.0 stuff in the tech preview build over the last few months anyway. Yeah, I think they can do it. I hope they can do it. I don't think we're going to see another major patch after 4.0 this year. Do you agree with me on that? Don't think there's going to be like a 4.1 at the end of the year or something, do you?
Maybe, but probably not.
I think we might see like a 4.0.x patch. Yeah, I don't know. I don't 100% know.
I kind of feel like maybe once they've hit 4.0, it'll slow down a little bit, maybe. It depends what promises they make at CitizenCon.
Yeah, no, you're right. It does depend what... I mean, they've probably, for the most part, decided what they want to show at CitizenCon, but there'll be a few things that they will select super close to CitizenCon, exactly what they show us. I am expecting 4.0 to be released by CitizenCon as well, but it's literally ready when it's ready, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
And it's a big patch, and it's been a long time coming. I'm sort of interested to know what people's thoughts are on that. Do they think 3.24 is going to be in our hands by the end of the month? Do they think 4.0 is going to start to go sort of like into EVOCATI and PTU sort of mid-September? Are they expecting it to be live before CitizenCon? Are you expecting anything else after that by the end of the year? I mean, I'm expecting, as I said, a 4.0.1 or .x patches with some extra little features and tweaks. But I do think that there is a huge amount of gameplay going on with Pyro, and we're going to learn more and more about it. I'm going to see more and more features being added to it. Do you expect anything that you've seen at the moment on the roadmap for 4.0 to actually slip? Obviously, like, there's server meshing there, jump points there, and Pyro there. None of them are likely to slip.
I don't think it can.
You don't think it can?
I mean, it might, and I couldn't point out anything that would, like, specifically, because it could be anything, but it shouldn't, purely because this is where I'm making my stand. Last year at CitizenCon, they said within a year, by the end of by a year's time, which would be CitizenCon next year.
I mean, I suppose things that could slip in my mind are like the Space Cow, or I mean, they've just shown that they're going to be talking about asteroid bases in the contested zones. They've got the new biomes for like acid caves and rock caves that they showed off recently. I say showed off, they talked about in the roadmap recently. The additional player customization stuff. So some of that might not make it, but again, Zin's probably right. They probably probably will, because it needs to.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. But yeah, that's all I sort of wanted to talk about today for 4.0 and the podcast. We're keenly awaiting 4.0 and 3.24 and Ship Showdown and all that sort of jazz. Tell us what you're looking forward to in the comments below, and your favourite ships and all that sort of jazz. And thanks for watching. Say goodbye, Zin.
Goodbye, Zin.
Thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you soon. Peace.
I'm a futuristic cyborg sent back in time for one purpose. Give me your boots, your jacket, and your nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. Get NordVPN if you want to live on the internet. It's the only thing that will protect you against Skynet and my Terminator impression.
It gives you greater accessibility, security, and privacy on the internet as well. You should use the links below. Every month, we have a ship giveaway. For July, we're giving away a Constellation Taurus. This workhorse allows you to do some solid cargo running, as well as some combat and room for a small crew. It's just a great all-round mission runner and awesome ship to experience Star Citizen with. This comes with access to the game and lifetime insurance as well. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during July. Each video is another chance to win. More details in the description below. Please consider supporting the channel with the join button under my videos or via Patreon, links below to all of that. It goes a long way in helping us to be able to make daily Star Citizen content and Zin's lore videos, all that sort of jazz. Thank you so much to all the glorious members that already do that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can always help as well by sharing, liking, subscribing, and getting involved in the comments section. And thank you very much for those of you that watched to the end. It is appreciated.